You may have come across this little chap in school, paramecium. Here is paramecium just swimming around, and we're always led to believe that they sort of automatic little thing, if they bump into something they'll pull back and fly off in another direction. No, they're sentient beings under high power. As this one rotates, you can see the groove in the side of its body in which it takes in its food. The cilia are making it swim, but they're also guiding a current of liquid water through that groove in its body so it can pick out whatever it wants to eat. We're often told that these things waft a current of water and just pick out anything organic in it to eat. But they don't, they're choosy. You can see quite clearly that some things float in and are taken in, and others float in and are discarded. Doesn't want to eat that particular kind of thing. This is stentor feeding. Stentor sets up a sort of a little vortex in the water and picks out what it wants to eat. But it ignores quite a number of things. It will pull in something if it really wants to eat it, but others are just ejected. You might think it looks pretty appetizing, sure, but even this single-celled creature, just like ourselves, has a sense of taste, works out what it wants and what it doesn't want. No, these aren't just blobs of jelly, ladies and gentlemen. They're complex, sentient beings. And here is a ciliated cell swimming along. It comes across a diatom which it decides it doesn't want to have, and then it senses this other cell and whoops it in. It's like watching a cat catching a mouse on the lawn. It's extraordinary to see a single. How does it actually detect it? How does it recognize? How does it see? How does it see? Nobody knows any of these things. Here he is again. He comes up and he senses the diatom, which he's not very interested in. It would make a perfectly good meal. But he pauses, doesn't he? He hovers. It's as though he's inspecting his prey. And then he jumps upon it and devours it. This is a single-celled creature. Eupliotes, one of my favourites. This is a single-celled creature, but it's like watching some sort of little arthropod. It's almost like watching a mouse or a sparrow or some sort of insect. But it's a single-celled creature. If we put it in gel, you can slow down the motion of its limbs. And just look how complicated they are. This is like a millipede walking along, but it's not. It's a single-celled creature doing things that nobody has begun to study. Just like these other ciliated organisms, it takes in a current of water and picks out the food that it wants. Sometimes it will take in something bigger than it should really be eaten. You see that one has got some ciliate inside, a smaller ciliate, which is trying as hard as it possibly can to escape. And eventually, with a little bit of thrust in the right direction, it does. It turns around and it manages to pop out of the cell and break free and fly off back to its mummy, I expect. But the point is, the complexity of what's going on inside these cells is beyond human understanding. And I think because it's so complicated, that's one of the reasons why nobody bothers to try and investigate and look any closer. This is Eupliotes under high power, and you can see very clearly how it takes in a lot of the little tiny algae which are floating past, but it doesn't take them all in. Some of them it rejects. And how about this? Coleps. What a fabulous little creature. Coleps is a scavenger. It's like the hyena under the microscope. Goes around to find anything dead that he can, and it just nibbles them away. And Coleps is propelled by these little cilia, these tiny little projections of cytoplasm from each cell. We have no idea how they work. If you look under the high power microscope, do you see how it's using those little legs? You see at the front to actually catch hold of its food and pull them into its little mouth opening. And look on the bottom right. They're almost like little limbs. But these are bits of jelly-like cytoplasm. They've got no limb structure, there's no skeleton, no endo or exoskeleton. They're just little bits of jelly. And we haven't the slightest idea. Look at them there. Those little beautiful cilia sticking out from that single cell. And they're feeling around. It's like watching a woodlouse or something really complicated. But this is a single-celled organism.